Everybody, we're going to go over the Terminus Cantilever plugin that I put together to be able to run commands across multiple sites at a time instead of having to individually go through and look at each site or run a command on each site and be able to hopefully save you guys some time. So I was tasked one day in between projects to go through and identify the version we had of a particular module across all of the Drupal sites that we had. This particular module affected both Drupal 7 and Drupal 8 sites that we had. So I ran this command to be able to make a list. So just using Terminus, grep the results for everything that was pro, business, or performance level accounts. And what that did is it gave me a list like this, where you can see, all of the different site names, the level, and what version. And then after I had that, I ran a routine like this to go through it and isolate all of the site names and go through and on the live versions of live environments of the site and list the information. In this case, it'll list what version of Redis is being used on each of these sites. And then I was able to take that and paste that into a report and be able to have a master list of this is what version of that module is on all of our Drupal sites across the board. I didn't have to go into each individual site to do it. I didn't have to look up each individual site and have to go through and waste a lot of time. It made it a lot easier to be able to run that command. And we were thinking, why don't we make this a plugin so that we can not only do that, but we can do it with any command. And then attach it right into Terminus so that we can be able to use it with Terminus to be able to accomplish tasks a lot faster. So what you'll notice, if you run the help on Cantilever, it accepts a few different variables. It accepts an environment variable. By default, it sets dev. It also will allow you to be able to check a service level on the site so that you can see whether it's free, basic, pro, business. Allows you to be able to specify a framework and then run a command. And then running the command will run on every site that matches, or every environment that matches rather. And this square brackets site will allow you to be able to go through and use that as a wildcard for each of the sites that match. It makes it a little bit easier to be able to write these commands and be able to go through the site. So how it actually works, you can see here, if you just run Terminus can, what it's going to do by default is just list every site that you have access to without any arguments. Now you can go through and start defining those commands. Like here we say, all right, for every live environment of a pro, business, or performance site running Drupal 7 or Drupal 8, run cc all on that. And I know CCL is not going to work on the Drupal 8 sites, and that's okay, because it'll actually show us in there. It's going to put whatever output comes as a result of that. So you're then able to go back through, refine your command if it wasn't something that affected all of the sites that you wanted it to, how you wanted it to, and just get a handle on how to use it in general. You can see it's going through, and it will let you know whether the cache gets cleared or not. It just spits out the output for each site. It allows you to be able to have it in a format that you can easily copy and paste that and provide that on a ticket or whatever you happen to be working on. This also works. In this case, my problem was figuring out a particular module version across all the sites. And in that case, it's going to go through and do the same thing, where it's going to print through each site and just spit out the output for each of them in one way. And that way you don't have to have 5 people run commands on hundreds of sites or dozens of sites. You can just go through as one person, be able to provide a report, and then be able to determine from that, all right, well, these sites are the only ones that need attention, and be able to really whittle down your work and not have to spread yourself very thin. The whole point of this is that it takes all of the sites that match and puts it in an array and just runs a routine across all of the sites that are in that array that matches. And it'll allow you to be able to really go through and hopefully get stuff done a lot faster across Terminus and across your Pantheon sites. I do have plans for the second version to add more of the arguments that are allowed in the sites on Terminus. Make sure we're able to put in tags, things of that nature, and any other arguments that we need to be able to add in there to isolate particular sites. If you run into any problems or anything using it, if you see any bugs or issues with it need to be addressed, please let us know, and we'll go through and make sure everything works as smooth as it can. And hopefully I'll be able to get through and get these updates in for the second version of it very soon. Everything seems to be working for us good. It's been working for us great and inclined internally. We haven't really run into any huge issues with the way we use it, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same way that you want to use it. So please let us know what you run into. We'd love to make this better for everybody so everyone has a much faster time going through, a much more efficient way of being able to touch and get reporting from all of their sites on Pantheon.